my last session today, I was working with this wonderful woman named Tara, and it was a heavy session. Everything I did when we were working in, well, I didn't do it. What I do is I merge in with the person, and then I feel around in their body of what's going on, and then I walk them through how to remove the things based off of like what I'm feeling, what it probably is, because I've had a lot of experience, so I know the stuff really fast. Okay, well, merged in with Tara, and I'm like, God, like, there was a little bit of a cough, and I was like, the first thing I go to when I cough is like allergies, change of weather, or smoking. And she's like, oh, I used to smoke. I quit like not that long ago, like a couple of weeks ago, about 9 weeks ago or something like that. I was like, okay, so it's residual. And then they were saying something about they went to the doctor, and the doctor didn't know exactly what to call it, but called it something. And I just kind of laughed, and I said, doctors are important. We must go to the doctor. If you feel like you're supposed to go to the doctor, but I'm in the business of doing whatever the fuck we need to do to like clear it out energetically and spiritually. And if we can get it, awesome. And if we can't, okay, that's what the other stuff is there for. So I'm never going to tell anybody not to go to the doctor, but I'm still going to try my fucking best to like get it so you don't have to. Cause yeah. Anyway, I'm only bringing that up because it came up at the end. So there was this like really heavy, muddy, magnetic connection. It was so like all the energy, when I feel energy move, it usually like it's intense, but it moves pretty quickly. Well, hers was like moving through mud, and it was like magnetized, and it was really like dense, intense energy. And I was like, what? I just kept going, what the fuck is this? Like, why is it so much? And so I did the thing that I normally do, which is like remove bounce backs, rubber bands, and tourniquets that don't belong. It still was moving slowly. And I was like, what the fuck is this? We talked about her relationship with her ex-husband and how magnetic it was. And people would automatically go to like, oh, karmic partner, but it's like way deeper than that. And it's really easy to do if you don't just like throw a phrase at it, like a commonly known phrase. If you actually get in there and figure out what the fuck it is, you can fix it, you can heal it, and be free of it, instead of just throwing a term out there and being okay with the label of karmic or soul, whatever. Get rid of the fucking labels and actually do some good for yourself. Sorry, personal thing there coming out. Okay, thanks. Okay, so we went back on her timelines, like in her 20s, and we did a lot of work for her in her 20s, but we needed to go back further. I'm going to do okay, so working with Tara, heavy session, and we go back to her 20s and release all the stuff between her and her ex-husband and stuff. There was a part 1, and I'm going to label it and link it here into Healing Story Times if you're seeing this randomly on your For You page and you want to see the rest. Anyway, so this is where it gets crazy. So we asked to see the most impactful point we can heal between the two of them. And we're taken to, I swear to everything holy, we're taken to the Bermuda Triangle. There was more involved, but it was like her son, and him, which he was the father of that child. And there was a conversation about how like she hadn't had kids in other past lives, and like she had been with him in many past lives though. Anyway, they were these like 3 points on this triangle, and because we were talking about the ocean, I was like, is this the fucking, like, I swear to God, is this the Bermuda Triangle? And we did the house cleanse to the corners of the Bermuda Triangle. Like, if you don't know, like, if you're like, is it this? Just fucking see if it is. If there's no movement, then it's not. And if there is movement, then there is. So it's like, okay, do your house cleanse to the 3 corners of the Bermuda Triangle. And we felt so much fucking leave. And then it was like, okay. And then it felt like a pyramid, but with the top of it, like, like in the Illuminati thing or whatever. Oops, said the wrong word. That was crazy. That's my kid's phone. Like the pyramid on the dollar bill. Can I say that? Okay. All right. So it was like that. It was like the, like flat on the top thing. So then we took that apart and we asked for I don't remember what tool we used, some kind of wrecking ball situation, but it was a magnet wrecking ball. We took it down, and then we had to apply the house cleanse to the like triangle, like perimeter thing. And then it made that traffic child trafficking symbol with the like triangle that goes like this and spirals. Okay, so this is going to take some explanation. Oh wait, no, I wasn't. I'm going to explain it, damn it. But we did more, and then she was inside of the pyramid, and now it's just a regular pyramid down there, and we closed the vortex and removed the soul fragments and stuff from the Bermuda Triangle portal thing that's in the ocean. Okay, I'm going to explain the things in a part 3, and then I'm going to send you the text message of the rest of the stuff that happens, so you can get kind of like a clue of what we do in a session besides whatever I'm just talking about here. Because every session is completely different. Sometimes it's past life, sometimes it's training. I had a session today where I was training someone. Didn't mean to, but that's just what came up. But this today was crazy because it was like a world of... So basically, what happens a lot of the times is, since all of us, you watching this video, every single one of us are a part of everything. Like, there's only 13 oversouls. So some of you are a part of nature. Some of you are part of water. Some of you are part of the sun. Some of you are part of trees. It is what it is. We're all a part of different deities and gods and goddesses and angels. And there's a positive light, and then there's a negative dark, and that's masculine, that's feminine, and like it's all over the place. I have so much fucking information on it. Like, it's a really easy map once it clicks. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So anyway, basically what Tara's soul was a part of was I checked in with Kate, because I told Tara, I was like, I'm gonna have to ask Kate because I need some more clarity on this, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. Basically, Kate got about the same thing that I got with a little bit more detail. And I'm going to put the text messages up here in a minute. But it's like Tara's soul was in charge of that portal that then became the Bermuda Triangle. And it was a portal for helping like lost children. And then it got taken over. So, okay, so this happens sometimes. Like if someone's in charge of rain and they're just like, oh guys, my soul, like big oversoul thing, right? Okay, like, oh, I can do rain. Well, I'll just leave my like soul on autopilot doing the rain things. Well, then we all got fucking amnesia, and then all of our systems got corrupted. And that's how they're able to control the weather and stuff, is like with, and then of course add technology into it and stuff. But like, I even have series where there's archangels inside of the hurricanes and tornadoes, but that's another fucking story. But our souls get left on autopilot because we're like, hey, I can do that. I'll just leave it on autopilot. And then it just gets taken over. Even the matrix sphere cord that I have a YouTube video on to remove, it was connected to the matrix to being 3D, but then we got amnesia and it got corrupted. For the amnesia part, I would go to my Project Earth series. Fuck, that's a lot of information. I'll just do the screenshots for the rest. I'm not going into this. There's a little bit here, and a little bit here, and some more over here. Don't forget this part here. I know different phone sizes and screens, you might not be able to see it all. Maybe you can download the video. I don't fucking know, to get the screenshot so where you can read it if you're interested in it. But that's how we work. That's what we do. And it was really cool. And I have to document it because it was the Bermuda fucking Triangle. So I have to fucking document it. Okay. Bye. A week ago, I was working with Moni, and I've worked with her a couple of times. And this was like I just happened to have an opening and she like grabbed it. So it was perfect. She was concerned because while she was meditating, like she does active meditation, so she was in the shower and she got this message that her ex was going to reach out to her. And then like in a short matter of time, the ex's mom did. And she was like freaking the fuck out. And she was like, I don't know what this means. I'm spinning out. What could this possibly mean? I got something about healing. Is it fucking up my timelines? Like, can't help. And that's what I do. I help guide to figure out the answers to that kind of shit. So right away, we asked to see the most impactful point she could heal concerning why her ex's mother was reaching out to her. And what I do is I merge in with the person, and then we jump in the timeline to wherever the fuck we need, whether it's a past timeline or it's a past life. Like, it could be like in their 20s or when they were 12, but it could be like a past life because all time is now. So we just kind of like portal hop into where we need to go. Right away, I'm feeling around and I'm like, because I can't see, I just feel. I'm like, this place feels like either an earthquake just happened or a tornado just happened. I'm really emotional. I'm very sad. There's devastation everywhere. It's horrible. She said, we're at their house. It burnt down. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I have to give a little bit of backstory on this, just a little bit. So let me figure out what I need to say before I say it. Basically, she was friends with her ex-boyfriend's sister, so she grew up in that house, but she didn't get to have the closure and reach out to them and help them in their time of need like she wanted to because it was an ex-boyfriend situation. So when it took us to the most impactful point we needed to heal, not only were we like back where the house burnt down, which she physically actually wasn't in. So this is like spirit guide form, which is really interesting because as we were going through the house to try to figure out where the fire even started to prevent it, I was like, bitch, you flying like Casper. Like, you ain't got no legs. You just flying around this motherfucker. Which is funny because when I energetically walk through someone's house, I'm walking and I'm feeling like this. And she was just like, shoo, shoo, shoo. It reminded me of the TikTok, the trend where everybody was flying through the mansion, that filter, and it was like me on my way to get snacks after a smoke sesh. Like, that's what she reminded me of. Like Casper, the fucking friendly ghost. I do want to get more detailed, so I am going to make this a 2-part story time because it's just fucking. So this next part I want to preface by saying, as of until this moment, until working with her, what we've been able to do is heal the trauma from the past, and then it energetically helps our future, and it aligns timelines. Like, we've been able to do a lot. But this is the future of what we're hoping to be able to do. Now, this gets in the territory of, like, Mandela effect, so I do recommend going to see my playlist series of Why We Heal Trauma, Rewriting History, Miracles, or Just Future You. And I will put them on the video for you so you can figure out where to go to look at more information for those. Okay, so back to the story. We're energetically flying through looking for the cause of the fire. And I was like, we're in the back of the house over to the left. She's like, oh, that's the sister's art studio. And I'm like, okay, so this is how we figure out the start of the fire. We're going to ask some questions. What does it feel correct to you? Like, does it feel like it was started with a match? No. Does it feel like it was started with chemicals? And they went, candles? Yes. And I said chemicals. You heard candles. So, yes. Basically, the grandmother had lit a candle in there. The grandmother didn't live there. And she had like fog brain, like she wasn't thinking right. And she lit a candle and it ended up staying lit instead of being put out. And it was next to some acrylic paints. So because she was in an energy form and not present in that life, she was able to blow the candle out, prevent the fire, clean up the chemical stuff, clear out the grandmother's mind with soul's consent, like clear the fog brain out. And then one of the things I do in my sessions is like when we're walking through with people, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting this like analogy of this. Like, I think you have a healing for this. So Moni had this healing where it was kind of like the Coraline scene where the walls unraveled and stuff. So she was unraveling the timelines and cleaning it up so that it didn't, so that the fire didn't happen. But this is mind-melting stuff. This is Mandela effect mind-melting stuff, and this can alter the timeline. So we, of course, asked to undo anything we shouldn't have done. We do that every fucking time, especially when it's something this major. And I told her, I said, please go check on the house the next day and see if it's there still. And it was weird. I told Kate about the story, and Kate goes, I'm getting that she's going to have to paint the house while she's sleeping. This was the text message I got the next day. This is so fucking cool. I love it. I love it. Even down to the like flying through the house shit. This is how I feel like a look into the future of the possibilities of what we can do. And we're right on the brink of it. And it's so exciting. It's such an exciting time to be alive. Humans are so much more than we've been told. Remember, I had the opportunity to work with Jaded. Actually, it was more like an emergency walkthrough kind of thing. Jaded was live and was doing a card pull, which they're very talented in. And they got an excruciating, what felt like an attack right away. They reached out to Kate because Kate is a seer and Kate can see things and take care of things really fast because Kate is a spiritual surgeon as well. And Kate has worked with Jaded many times, well, a couple of times before. So they reached out to Kate. Kate was at work, so it was hard to text back and forth and figure things out exactly what Kate was seeing because Kate was seeing like a big energetic cord, which is a connection to someone in a different timeline or a different realm or reality that was pulling at Jaded. So they weren't able to, it was too much to walk through in text. And I was a missing piece of what they needed. And sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes I can't help somebody because I need Kate there for whatever reason. It just happens like that. So after Kate got done with work, she was over at my house and we gave Jaded a call. The way we did this is like Jaded told us the experience that they had a while ago where they've seen the same, I guess, life before, like a past life, but all time is now, and they've seen different parallels of that same life, which is different timeline splits, where like if they do this happens. If they do this other thing in that life, this happens. So we needed to somehow combine those two together. That was the first part, like thinking of like merging those together. Well, it wasn't like that. We needed to walk through and make sure that it happened the most healed way, because every time they tried to do it a different way, it wasn't working out. There was a shed situation. There was a nurse. They were in a war setting. Jaded was thinking maybe around World War II time, but it was a little bit more Vietnam is what Kate was feeling. And Kate's an airplane mechanic. And so I just kind of like, there was different timelines and it was like this weird loop of things. So we were trying to figure it all out together. We went in and Jaded was in the shed in that version of themselves. And there was a nurse to the left of them, which is in, we figured out was that cord, the energetic cord. It was someone, a female who was watching Jaded's live. And when they saw each other, they energetically connected. And then boom, that past life or parallel life got remembered. And then the pain happened based on the events. I'll tell you the rest. So here Jaded is in this past life or parallel timeline, because all time is now. And the person from their current life who saw their live, their past life got triggered upon it. And then this traumatic pain and anxiety and like discomfort happened for Jaded, where all time was looping and weird. Jaded has the ability to jump through timelines. And I don't know how much of it they've experienced in their life, but they felt it as if it was happening to them in that very moment. And it was excruciating pain and discomfort and, like, again, time slowing down. So that's why they needed to walk through this. Okay, so we walked in, had Jaded jump into their other version of them, this guy, and was in the shed, and there was arsenal that needed to be deactivated. There was a plane that Jaded needed to get away on. We needed to fill the tank up with the appropriate fuel, which Kate's an airplane mechanic, so she knew exactly what fuel to use. Jaded had a couple of past lives or other lives as an airplane flight person, a pilot. That's what they're called. Haha. So we were able to download the flight information that Jaded needed into that vessel so they could take off. It reminded me a lot of Jumanji with fucking Kevin Hart and The Rock. It reminded me of that. The first one, not the second one. Anyway. Even doing that, it still wasn't great because with that arsenal sitting there, that nurse that was in there, the one that made the energetic cord, they spoke a different language. It was their hometown. They were worried about like their family, their home, this arsenal. And Kate kept seeing like this arsenal needs to go. It needs to go. So, Kate did a deactivation on the arsenal, which was really fucking cool. And then we actually had to put an entrance portal over the arsenal and an exit portal where it belonged to get it out of there. That's confusing for a lot of people. I've done it multiple times. Entrance and exit portals to where they belong. Easy peasy, like so easy. Once you figure out how to work it and how to do it, it's a game changer. So then now the nurse gets the fuck out of there with Jaded and gets in the plane. They know each other in a past life. There's a love connection there now and a storyline that happens now. We did set up the, whether they're supposed to be friends in this life or lovers or whatever the case, we did set up the timelines to align them with that so they can meet each other now after healing that discomfort. And when we merged all the timelines, we realized that airplane actually now shows up. So we're waiting for a B-52 bomber to be found. So if you see one, tag me. Guys, I'm going through the process of uploading my series to YouTube, and I have a double one. It's a Can Past Life You Be a Spirit Guide, and also Do We Look Like Us in the Astral? There's some bonus videos in here as well, like steps to make the most healed version of you, younger you spirit guide, and also a graph to help explain the frequencies of the positive 24th dimension to the negative 24th dimension, and even the steps to merge your oversoul. Enjoy!